So there's another thing though. We talked about the chest wrap. Loosen the chest wrap after opening. Some of the people go, duh, I've been doing that for years. You probably are, right? Anybody else loosening their chest wrap after opening? You are? You are too? You are? Good. The other ones, I have to convince you why. Because it sounds stupid, right? Doesn't it? You want to be able to lean forward in the harness. Why do you want to be able to lean forward in the harness? Pitch, yeah. What happens when you pitch your canopy? Right? When you pitch your canopy for landing, which is an imperative, it goes behind you and it pulls your shoulders back, which swings your feet forward, which presents your coccyx bone to a really big planet for a spanking. Anybody ever break the coccyx bone? Sucks, right? Sucks. Yeah, you sneeze and it hurts. Everything hurts. I didn't break it. I bruised it in California, and then I flew from California to South Africa for another canopy course. I was showing off doing a downwind landing, sliding across the ground as I'm filming somebody behind me. We were doing a group swoop, and I hit a bump. Duh. So I want to be able to keep my gear down, right? Keep my feet underneath me so I can protect my spine, my central nervous system, from an impact. So the PLF, when you're landing, feet and knees together, slightly bend under tension, eyes under 45, hands ready, and flare. Where do your feet go? Woo! Out in front of you. Because the weight of your legs gets swung out. As the canopy stops, and you continue forward, and you hit the brakes, you're presenting your butt to the ground. Your back. So by loosening the chest strap, now I can make the pitch of my body independent from the pitch of the ring. The pitch of the system is now separate from me. That's huge. That's huge. Not everybody that loosens their chest strap actually uses this principle. Because many people have the bad habit of still leaning back when they flare, and their feet aren't underneath them. You have to actually practice this process of sort of leaning yourself forward. Oops, sorry about that. So let's talk about just a little bit. I don't recommend taking your chest strap off unless you have a belly band. Some swoopers actually take their chest strap off. Yeah. But if you don't have a belly band, you can fall out of your rhythm. You go, well, I'm not going to fall out. I mean, I can hold me. Yeah, what if you have a cutaway? Well, I already opened. Why would I have a cutaway? I don't know. Can you guys think of a reason why somebody would have to cut away after a perfectly good deployment? I can. Yeah, collision with another canopy. What else? Turbulence maybe messes with my canopy.
Twists.
Yep. Bad stall recovery. Playing too hard. Woo! Give myself line twist. Bad heli spin. And so it's possible. So the first thing I want to mention about that is when you loosen your chest strap, especially if you have, people say, that's a really long chest strap you got there. It looks like you're compensating for something. That is as important as this, that function. So I like to fly wide. I want to be able to really get my parachute way behind me and still have my body upright so that I can land on my feet. So my spine is sort of perpendicular to the horizon as I touch down so I can protect my back, protect my butt. But likewise, I want to have this in my head as a function, just like you practice this, and you know right, left, or whatever your procedures are. If you're going to be loosening your chest strap, you should also practice that, right? So that in the event that you've got a wacky thing that has happened after opening, those are my reserve procedures. Peel, punch. That's me verifying that it's gone. After 11 cutaways, you start noticing more details like that. Your first cutaway just happens so fast that afterward, wow, I did it. I saved myself. So, can you see what I'm talking about? By loosening this chest strap, it allows me to penetrate. Right? To penetrate through the rig so that the parachute can be pointed that direction and sit at a high angle of attack and produce enough lift to carry my weight and be in level flight. But my body's not like that, so I can feel confident in finishing the flare. Why would I want to finish a flare that's putting me further and further from being in a body position that would allow me to run it out? It makes me want to come off the toggle so I can put my feet down, doesn't it? That might explain why so many people let off the toggles right before landing and thump into the ground and beat up their cartilage or dirty up their pretty $600 jumpsuits. I think they're getting $600 for jumpsuits. So, right, so the chest strap has danger associated with it. But it's not the danger that you might think. Right at the beginning, somebody said, you're safer loosening your chest strap after opening. You'd be like, you're full of shit. Not necessarily. In this case, this is safer for a cutaway, for a deployment. This is safer. But for landing, this is safer. For visibility, this is safer. And for stability, for reducing the risk of line twists as I'm maneuvering, by widening this out, putting me inside the triangle instead of hanging under the triangle where I can get line twists. Do you see the distinction there? Right? I'm inside the system now. Right? It is safer. I am a more stable system if my chest strap is loose. But not off. So, have I convinced you guys that it's a good idea? Maybe.
I haven't loosened it up that much, but does that affect your ability to harness turn and make?
The more you loosen it, the more you're able to harness it.
Really? See, I haven't.
Well, think about let's look at the dimensions of the system. If I think about what is a harness turn, and we're going to talk a lot about that. I'm trying to offset my main lift webs this way. That's what a harness turn is. This doesn't create a harness turn. Look at a blind man. It's spin around backwards, parachute continues flying straight, right? So it's this offset. So the tighter my chest strap is, the less my three rings are able to move. Likewise, if I loosen it all the way up, look at all that offset I can get now. Right? So it's more effective. Now, the why of a harness turn, that's a whole other story. I love telling it. We'll get to that too. One last thing that I would like to cover about the chest strap. If you haven't loosened your chest strap before, you may discover that when it's tightened down like this, after opening, when you're hanging on it, you have weight along your main lift webs. This is pulling out on your chest strap, right? It's locking your friction adapter. It doesn't want to move. I got to unstuck it. If I create slack on the chest strap and I lift up the buckle, it loosens right up. But if I struggle against it, it doesn't usually will. So create slack, lift the buckle, and pull. And there's more than one way to do this, right? You can do it like that too. If you have the excess stowed in an easy to release manner, it would be wise. Not so easy that it's going to flop out in free fall, but now that's easier. Ta-da! If nobody tells you that, you struggle through the whole canopy ride trying to get it open. Questions?